Okay, so here I go, heading off to the Sink the Planet ride in the pouring rain. I must be nuts, but I committed to it. I said I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. We'll have a good night, we'll see how we go. Probably not going to raise the funds that we had planned on raising, but we'll see how we go. This is where it's happening. I think there's a couple of bikes over there already. It's cool. I'm glad I'm not the only lunatic here. Alright, the Sink the Planet is go! We're away. The Sink the Planet event has begun. Bit of a smaller event than I had planned due to this magnificent weather you can see. So I'll get right into it and I'll start talking about depression. Depression has been in the news a lot this week due to Robin Williams, the famous actor, comedian, taking his own life. He battled for years with depression and alcoholism, and it finally got too much for him. So what that highlights is that it doesn't matter how famous you are, how good your life appears to be, how much money you have, depression can strike anyone. We may appear happy on the surface, but those with depression are quite often only putting on an act, and they're sometimes the best actors out there. So it makes it really no surprise that such a good actor as Robin Williams hid his deep troubles from a lot of people. I'll get a little bit more personal now about depression and talk about how I have dealt with it, with my wife suffering from depression for most of her life. And I didn't really understand a lot about it in the beginning, and I would see her out in public, at work or whatever, having a great time, in a happy mood, and then she would come home and then she'd be full of depression again. And that's because when they come home, they're in their comfort zone. They don't have to put on the act anymore. It takes a lot of energy, a huge amount of energy to put on that act while they're out in public. So they can't continue that when they get home in their comfort zone with their loved ones. With their loved ones, they feel they can be themselves, and that's when the depression sort of shows itself a little bit more. So often those loved ones of people suffering depression are the ones who see it the most and have to deal with it the most, and I can certainly vouch for that. I've been there and been around that for quite a number of years. It's been hard on myself, and it's been hard on my kids, it's been hard on my wife dealing with this. She's tried lots of stuff over the years. Lots of things worked short term, but long term it just keeps coming back. She has her ups and downs, peaks and troughs, but as most people do, most people have their peaks, most people have their troughs, but I think people with depression, their peaks aren't quite so high, their troughs are often longer and deeper, and they just stay in them for quite a lot more time, and it can be quite hard to get out of them. So we're in amongst surfers paradise now. Sink the Planet is in full swing. It's a bit hard to see. So if you would like to watch a good video that's really emotional, it'll get you going, I'll put a link to AdjrianNickelodeon's video which he did earlier this week. his video really pointed home what depression is all about. He's had his struggles, and he's known people who have taken their own life, so it was quite hard to watch. Whoa, they're a bit slippery. So I was hoping to have heaps and heaps of people out here tonight, but it's a bit quiet in town because of all the rain. You got to see everyone smiling at us and laughing. As I was saying, my wife has struggled a lot with depression over the years, and we also had another friend who she was sort of leaning on for support, and her friend was leaning on my wife for support. They're both struggling with their own demons, both helping each other out and everything. And about a month or so ago, our friend took her own life. She had been battling depression for many years. She decided she couldn't take it anymore, and took the easy way out, I guess, the selfish way out, some would say. In a way it is, but I can understand how, you know, they would be feeling that there is no other option in those cases. So we went to her funeral about a month or so ago, and the odd thing was this lady shared the same name as my wife. So my wife felt like it was her own funeral she was going to, when they were talking about the depression and the suicidal thoughts and everything, which my wife has had from time to time. She felt like she was at her own funeral, and I must admit that I knowing the history of this woman and my wife, I sort of felt like it was too, and we spoke about it afterwards and both went, yeah, you know, we're both thinking the same thing. It's kind of weird. So it was very, very freaky, very sad. Oh, these gusts of wind are crazy. I guess the message that I would like to leave with you guys is that if you know someone that's a little bit down, they may not be just feeling down for the hell of it. You know, it might not be just some sort of random occasion. They might be suffering big time from depression, and the majority of the time they might be putting on an act. You just don't know. If you spot them at a weak point and see them having a down moment, you know, on the inside they may be down all the time. So you've really got to give people a little bit of leeway. If they've got a bit of an attitude, if they're not exactly the most positive person to be around at that point in time or forever, you know, they might not be very positive all the time. They might be one of those negative people. You just never know what sort of demons they have going through their heads. You never know what's going on in there. So, wow, this wind is mad. This is crazy. We shouldn't even be out on motorbikes in this shit. Oh no! It's coming down now. How's that wind back there? Just blowing you around? Yeah. I know. Look at the angle it's coming in on. So yeah, just give people a little bit of a breather. You know, cut them a little bit of slack. You never know what they're dealing with. You never know when your smart-ass comments or your lack of support and compassion, you know, it may be just the tipping point, the straw that breaks the camel's back. You may tip them over the edge, and that might be enough for them. You just never know. You never know how your comments are going to be taken by other people. I've got a link down below in the description to Beyondblue, and an everyday hero page which you can donate to Beyondblue through. Beyondblue are an amazing charity in Australia that do a lot for depression and anxiety support, suicide prevention. They're really awesome, and every dollar that goes into my everyday hero page down below goes straight to them. So I would urge you to donate if you think this is a viable cause, which I'm sure you do. So this is the Sync the Planet, first ever worldwide Sync the Planet motovlogging event. It's going to be on again next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. Hopefully it will be a long-term event which just keeps going. Alright, so there wasn't many people out in Surfers Paradise, which is understandable because of all this rain. We're just about to hit Broad Beach now and go through their eatery district, if you like. Go through all the cafes and everything, so we should get a few looks in here. Let's put the camera over here and see if anyone's staring at us. Yeah, a few people are looking. There's not many people out there, they're all sheltering in the restaurants and bars. Something's going down. There's 4 police cars with lights, sirens flashing I've seen in the last 5 minutes. Something's going down big time. The cops are having a bit of a discussion with someone. It's all happening. Yeah. Might have been a bit of a fight. Anyway, I think I better head home. Get out of this rain. Yeah, thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it. Call Captain Cranky. Hello Captain Cranky, sorry I missed your call before. With all the weather and everything, I forgot to turn my centre on. Oh, absolutely soaked. All my wet weather gear has failed, my boots have failed. My boots used to be watertight, but they're not anymore, I don't know why. And my wet weather pants have failed. Oh, Animal's a bit heavy. Oh, I keep squeezing water out of his jawline and his brow. Alrighty. No worries, have a good one. See ya. And there you have it. That is the end of the Sync the Planet ride for 2014 for the Gold Coast. It was somewhat of a failure due to the weather. I can't really blame people for staying away because this is absolutely atrocious. It's just not the type of weather you want to be riding a motorcycle in. Sideways rain and motorcycles do not mix. Anyway, I really appreciate the fact that at least some guys came out and met me and joined me for the Sync the Planet ride. I'm absolutely soaked to the bone. My wet weather gear, my body is fine, but my ass and my nutsack is a little bit wet. And I don't know why my wet weather pants have failed me. They've been good in the past. I don't know what's going on there. There might be a little hole in them or something. And my boots are just bloody, my socks are swimming in water. My boots are rooted. I cannot do the road trip in these. I've got to get new boots. So I'd like to make a quick apology before I turn off this video. I forgot, in all the confusion and the bad weather and the last minute rush when everyone turned up, to turn on the Eat Sleep Ride app. I really apologise for that if anyone was trying to track me. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. If it had been fine weather I probably would have remembered, hopefully, but I feel like a dick for not turning it on. Anyway, it's on now. Managed to catch the second half of it, and I'm just about to turn it off because I don't want you to see where I live. Alright, I shall catch you soon. Thanks for joining me on this Sink the Planet soaking wet ride day, night. See you next time. Goodbye. Oh, that was fun.
You go, wet.